So it all started with me being curious about this fucking cat. I've had this funny GIF saved for ages, but I never even knew what it was from. So I decided to find out using my finding things out skills. Turns out it's from a game called Scud Race, a 1996 arcade racing game developed by Sega AM2. The first racing game on Sega Model 3 hardware, or specifically the updated 1997 version Scud Race Plus, which was only released in Japan. This one has a new track called Super Beginner, which is themed around toy cars racing around the floor of a house. On one of the laps you can see a cat chasing a mouse. Well, on this track in particular, if you hold start while selecting one of the 4 playable cars, you can play as a silly alternate vehicle instead, like a tank, a rocket car, or a bus with just pics of the devs on it. And of course, the final alternate vehicle is the cat. When you play as the cat, it meows like every 5 seconds. It's awesome. So apparently this Scud Race game is the spiritual successor to Daytona USA. It was developed by the same team, led by Toshihiro Nagoshi. That's right, the Yakuza and Super Monkey Ball guy. Apparently the cat texture comes from Nagoshi's pet cat, which is cute. Actually, what the fuck kind of name is Scud Race anyways? Oh, I see. If you actually look at the poster, it says Sport Car Ultimate Drive. I take it back, that's a great name. The project was known as Supercar in development, but eventually became Scud Race. There are 4 cars that you can drive: the McLaren F1, the Ferrari F40, the Dodge Viper GTS, and the Porsche 911. Wow, what a terrible name for a car, reminds me of that tragedy. And look guys, there's Sonic! Remember Sonic? Yes, there's a Sonic and Tails cameo on a billboard in the first stage. It's got that art of them in a Ferrari that you can see in the collection in Sonic Jam. And of course everyone already knows that Sonic's first ever appearance in a video game was actually a cameo in the arcade racing game Radmobile. If you didn't know that, you're a fucking idiot! Plus obviously he's carved into that mountain in Daytona. So you see, it's all connected. You can't even truly understand Sonic until you understand the rich arcade racing game ecosystem which birthed him. My favorite billboard cameo is from Formula 1 World Championship Beyond the Limit for the Sega CD, released in Japan as Heavenly Symphony Formula 1 World Championship 1993. Look at these scuffed little critters. Of course, if we're talking about Sonic cameos in racing games, then we have to bring up his playable appearance in Le Mans 24. He looks so cute in this game, driving his little buggy. He's got like a totally unique model too. Alright, you already know what fucking time it is. Ad time. Look, let's get one thing clear. 5CBD is a real company that really exists. A lot of my viewers seem to think this is like an elaborate joke or bit on my behalf. No, you can actually really order these gummies, if you're over 21. Once again, if you're under 21 years of age, I advise that you immediately stop watching this video and go watch Barney or some other shit for stupid babies. Anyways, as someone who knows various things, I'm aware that cannabis consumers proactively shop for strains or terpenes to meet their desired outcome. Well, I've got good news. 5 has all sorts of strains and terpenes. All your favorite terpenes are here! Beta-myrcene, beta-caryophyllene, alpha-caryophyllene, and don't forget alpha-pinene and D-limonene. That one's my favorite character. Wow, this all sounds like science fiction or something, but I can assure you, these terpenes really exist and they're in the fucking gummies. You might be wondering, Cybershell, what exactly is a terpene? So order a free bag of quick hits from 5, just pay shipping. Returning customers can get 50% off site-wide with the code CYBER50. So unlike Daytona USA, Scud Race never received any kind of console or PC port. It was exclusively available in arcade cabinets. The closest it ever got was there was a bonus stage in the Xbox version of Outrun 2 which contained the 4 tracks from Scud Race. Of course you can get it running with emulation now, or you could just buy one of the arcade cabinets. Damn, apparently Sega Logistics Service was providing repairs on Scud Race machines all the way up until 2017. Unfortunately, if your own personal Scud Race machine breaks down, you are shit out of luck asking Sega for spare parts. But it's kinda crazy they were even supporting the game for nearly 20 years in the first place. According to an article from EGM issue 100, Scud Race was originally supposed to be ported to the Dreamcast, and a Scud Race tech demo was even made to show to developers, but apparently they didn't want to rely too heavily on arcade ports, so it was never finished. Kind of a weird reason if you ask me. But yeah, there were confirmed reports of Dreamcast dev kits containing a section of Scud Race included for demo purposes. Amazingly, somehow this tech demo has actually been recovered, and thanks to the work of some very smart people, you can actually get it to run on PC. Again, it's not like a playable game, it's just a tech demo, but you can like move the camera around and stuff. It's hard to properly articulate, but the fact we can get this running at all is actually kind of a miracle. There's a really great article about how this was made possible on www.sega-dreamcast-info-games-preservation.com. I highly recommend checking it out if you're curious. I'll have a link to it in the description. Wait, if this is the spiritual successor to Daytona USA, which is one of the most famous Sega games, then why the fuck have I never heard of it before? Oh, apparently it was released as Sega Super GT in North America. According to Wikipedia, the game was released as Super GT in North America because in the US the word scud evoked memories of the Scud missiles used by Iraqi forces in the then recent Gulf War. Huh. What exactly is a Scud missile? Okay, so it turns out that Scud missiles are a series of tactical ballistic missiles developed by the Soviet Union back during the Cold War, used in a number of conflicts over the years, including by Iraq in the Gulf War. Although the actual missiles themselves were fairly inaccurate, the Western media reporting on the war focused heavily on them and contrasted them with the US Patriot anti-missile system. The Patriot was initially framed as a reliable countermeasure. President George H.W. Bush visited Raytheon's Patriot manufacturing plant and reported that they had successfully intercepted 41 out of 42 Scuds. However, post-war analysis indicates that they actually had a much lower success rate. Quote, "The evidence from these preliminary studies indicate that the Patriot intercept rate could be much lower than 10%, possibly even 0. Damn, that's crazy. It almost sounds like Raytheon took billions of dollars in defense contracts from the government, making a bunch of shit that didn't even work, and then deliberately misled the public in Congress about how effective it was. Luckily, nothing like that would ever happen today. Wait, what was this video about? Oh yeah, that cat! So I was on the Sega Retro page for Scud Race Plus, and it hit me with, the concept of racing as animals via secret codes, however, isn't new for AM2 racing games. Daytona USA gave racers the ability to play as a horse, and Manx TT Superbike allowed users to ride sheep. Now, I was familiar with the Daytona horse because it's so awesome looking. It's in the Saturn and PC versions, and you unlock it by placing first in every track or just using a cheat code. The automatic horse is brown and the manual horse is gray, and neither one is slowed down by grass. Genuinely, one of the greatest video game horses of all time. This horse makes Epona look like a piece of shit. So yes, everyone knows about and loves the Daytona horse, but what I want to know about is these rideable sheep in Manx TT Superbike. Also, what the fuck is Manx TT Superbike? Okay, it's a Model 2 motorcycle racing game. It was one of those cabinets you could link up to 8 at a time like Daytona, and it also got a Saturn port. Oh, I see, it's called Manx because it's based on the real-life Isle of Man TT race, which is apparently a very famous and very deadly motorcycle track. Anyways, this game does include a cheat code which changes the motorcycles into sheep. This mode even has a unique music track. Pretty great secret animal racer inclusion, I gotta say. I guess this really was a trend back in the day. Funny enough, all the way back in 1976, Sega released an arcade game called Man TT, complete with handlebars. This thing is so old the sound is handled by an 8-track tape deck. There were also some variants released under the title Motocross, however, both versions would eventually get rebranded as Fonz machines, themed after Fonzie from Happy Days. Apparently this was the first time a TV character had ever been licensed for a video game. There's only like one video of this game ever posted online too. It's super rudimentary, which is understandable. 1976 was like 100 fucking years ago. It's so old that it's what they call a discrete logic game. These games don't rely on any kind of CPU or software, it's literally just a bunch of logic gates. It's hard to emulate because each game was like its own little custom-built system designed to do exactly one thing. Like here's Pong for instance, no code, just the entire game logic hardwired into the circuitry. Anyways, all these animal racers have me wondering about the foot racing genre of games. I mean, besides the obvious one everyone knows about, Sonic R, the only other one that immediately pops into my head is the obscure Xbox game Mad Dash Racing. Maybe I'm thinking about this because I've seen a bunch of on-foot mods for Sonic Racing Crossworlds. Feels like people yearn for some kind of good on-foot racing game. So what was the point of this video? Put the cat from Scud Race in Smash Bros. Also, I can't think of a good title for this video, so I'm just gonna mash the keyboard.